So, back for the team builder for the quarterfinals of the XDL. So I did manage to make it into the playoffs with my 6-4 record, and there ended up being 5 players with a 6-4 record, which is quite amusing, and I'm going to be facing one of them. I'm going to be facing against Osirus, who did manage to get to that Sun team with his draft, so definitely going to be a scary one, but I think I should theoretically have the tools for that. I've got a couple of Pokemon that are classically very good against Sun, so we'll have to see how that goes. If you didn't see before, I did swap Berserker for Kartana, even though it's not coming to this match. I did change that up, but this is the team I'm going to be bringing. I'm going to be going with the Articuno first, because alphabetical order. So yeah, I'm going to be going with the screens for the Articuno. Articuno is actually pretty good. There's only 2 flying resists on Osirus' team. I could have Freezing Glare to be able to hit the Rhyperior and the Jolteon neutrally, but Articuno's job isn't really to hit the Rhyperior, and I'm kind of disrespecting the Jolteon just a little bit because I have a Marowak. So I feel I can get away with it, but we will see. So yeah, just going to be setting up the screens. I only feel like I need the 1 attack for the Air Slash. I did have Recover originally over the Trick Room, but Trick Room will be a way of just reversing Trick Room. I'm probably not going to be setting it up for myself to benefit from. It's more of a counter to the Trick Room, which I could put Imprison on the Articuno to do. That would be pretty reasonable, but the Trick Room setter is a Mimikyu, and I don't want to just click Imprison as I get Shadow Clawed or anything like that, so I'm going to be just trying to reverse the Trick Room, potentially with the Articuno. While the other thing deals with the Mimikyu, I have like a way of stopping Trick Room of just attacking the Mimikyu, which definitely works since this Articuno outspeeds every Pokemon that I have apart from the Kartana, which I guess the Kartana would be able to Smart Strike the Mimikyu, but oh well. So yeah, I'll be able to just Air Slash, break the disguise, and then pretty much most of my Pokemon should be able to OHKO the Mimikyu after this disguise is broken. Some of them will have to be with a max move, but in those positions, I'm probably maxing anyway, so that should be fine. And yeah, just screens to try and outbulk. I've got to stall out the chip that can come from the Venusaur and the Charizard as well if they go for their G-Max moves. Light Screen and Reflect doesn't really help to deal with that, but it helps reduce the damage of the initial attacks so that I'll have more HP to play with as the chip happens to me. So pretty standard for the Articuno, I think. So outspeeds, what did it outspeed? There's a couple of things that outspeed. A Jolteon outspeeding a Weavile at +1, and Articuno outspeeds all of them, so that I can Air Slash the Mimikyu first, and then follow up the attack with the other things. And then defensively, I'm pretty sure it lives a Rhyperior Max Rockfall if I've set up a Reflect and something specially, probably Charizardy, but I know that the defense is definitely for the Rhyperior after a Reflect. I assume I can live a light screened Wildfire, but I guess we will see. We should definitely do that calc before I get into the match. Dragonite is a very good Pokemon against Sun, like very classically good against Sun. Dragon Flying, like Salamence is always very good against Sun. Generally, flying types in general are good, but having the benefit of being a flying type that is resistant to fire is also very, very beneficial as a Sun counter. I am not a coward. I am not running safety goggles on this Dragonite. I don't think Venusaur is even going to run Sleep Powder, because Osirus has tended not to on quite a few weeks, like not bringing Sleep Powder at all on the Venusaur. And I also have Tapu Fini, even though I have some flying types that can be Sleep Powdered. I've got Tapu Fini, which should dissuade him even more from running Sleep Powder in the first place on the Venusaur. And if he is running it, I'll just dodge. Sorted. So I'm just going to go with the raw power of the Life Orb here. Going to be outspeeding. What was it outspeeding? I think it was out trying to catch something outspeeding one of my things, potentially. But I definitely should have written this down. Like I've made these EV spreads earlier than I recorded as well, and forgotten what they do. And the offensive calc probably OHKOs a Venusaur. I'm pretty sure OHKOs a Max Airstream, OHKOs a Max Venusaur. So then just dumped HP. The speed did something, and I'm trying to remember on the fly what it did, but I can't. Oh well. It should be fast enough though. Dual Wing Beat, Rock Slide, Waterfall. Pretty much perfect coverage against the team. Dual Wing Beat is the main move. Like I said, there's only 2 flying resists. One of them is hit pretty well by the Waterfall. I was debating Hydro Pump over Waterfall because it hits Torkoal and Rhyperior on the much weaker special side, but then the calcs end up being somewhat the same if I don't have any special attack investments, where compared to my pretty much full attack investment with Waterfall. That's from Max Geyser, that is. And having 2 ways of changing the weather on this Dragonite is going to be very nice as well. Could get the Sandstorm up, I could get the Rain up as well. Rock Slide's obviously for the Charizard. So, yeah, I was just debating Roost and Dragon Dance in the Protect slot. I don't think there's going to be many opportunities to Dragon Dance, and I'm not running a bulky Dragonite, even though I've got screens and probably could make use of the Roost, and Roost would get rid of the chip that happens from the Venusaur and the Charizards. Like, I'm still debating it and could change before the match, but probably going to be running Protect here. I've got Inner Focus because there's a Scrafty on the team. I could be running Multi-Scale, but just in case, I don't want to get intimidated, and I don't want to get faked out with the Dragonite. I want to have the potential of maxing not the Dragonite, and being able to just attack through a Fake Out with both Pokemon. So going to be going with the Inner Focus on the Dragonite. We'll see if that comes back to bite me, and if I would have flinched, or if I wouldn't have flinched, a Multi-Scale would have been better, but we will see. Kartana is much better in this matchup than you would expect it to be. Like, Kartana against Sun? Sure. Like, terrible. But there's also, like, 7 other Pokemon, 8 other Pokemon that aren't Sun. And it's actually really good against most of them. Like, take away the Sun core, like Venusaur, Torkoal, and Charizard. Kartana's really good against the rest of them. Like, pretty much 2/3 of his team. Kartana's really good. So, just got the Focus Sash as insurance in case it goes up against a Fire-type move. Even the Rhyperior, I'm expecting to have Fire Punch. The Persimmon could OHKO with just close combat as well. Jolteon could have Weather Ball. It could come out of nowhere. Pretty sure Glaceon gets Weather Ball as well, so that could catch me as well. But we will see. But Focus Sash just as insurance, because why not? So I'm outspeeding the Meowstic Male and then just like a tiny bit of special defense, because why not? So very, very standard moveset. I don't feel the need for any other moves. I'm not planning on Dynamaxing the Kartana. I don't really have a planned max in this game. Pretty much all of my Pokemon could justifiably max in this game, which is quite nice. And I'm not trying to stick to a rigid game plan. I'm trying to be as flexible as possible with my Dynamax, so we will see. I would say the most likely is probably Dragonite, but we will see. Like, even Articuno could Dynamax. If that's to probably avoid a Fake Out and then attack with the other things that I could KO the Mimikyu, but we will see. But yeah, very standard is Kartana. The stab moves and Sacred, like I say the stab moves, Sacred Sword is a stab move, come on, like it's standard at this point. So yeah, very, very basic Kartana, but it's actually much better against the team than you would expect. If I don't see much of the Sun Core, it could come to the match. If not the Sun Core gets out of hand in one of the games, then I could bring Kartana to try and patch that matchup up. So yeah, Marowak, again, very good against the Sun, because it gets super powered up by the Sun. It's going to be doing huge damage with the Flare Blitz or the Max Flares, and I'm opting for Rock Head. Like I said, I am slightly disrespecting that Jolteon quite a bit. Lightning Rod would make Jolteon pretty much unusable against me, but Rock Head, I don't want to be going for a Flare Blitz into a Gigantamax Venusaur and pretty much KOing myself. So, because I can KO that Gmax Venusaur, if I'm in the Sun, then that Venusaur is not surviving without an Aqua Berry, and Flare Blitz would just annihilate it, but it would also annihilate my Marowak without it. And if I'm not Dynamaxing the Marowak, I don't want to take all that recoil. Flare Blitz and Poltergeist is pretty much all the coverage I need. I was considering Boomerang because extra ways of hitting the Rhyperior, but Poltergeist hits it neutrally. Probably need to be wary of a weakness policy on the Rhyperior, because if that's activated, then Marowak can't really hit the Rhyperior anymore. But I've got Perish Song on there mainly for a Torkoal endgame, just in case. So the Torkoal that he's been tending towards has been Body Press with Iron Defense and Amnesia. And even if it's not, like, even it would have to have Earth Power to threaten the Marowak, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't really at all. But Perish Song is just a way of like quickly beating the Torkoal if I've been able to get some quick KOs. Again, could still switch that Perish Song. I'm completely undecided on that slot. Could be Ally Switch, could be Boomerang still, just in case the Rhyperior has its weakness policy used up, so I could still hit it. But we will see. I'll decide just before the match. Maybe it changes, like the Dragonite protects, but we will see. I'm trying to speed creep a Scrafty here. I could run Min Speed and guarantee that if we're in Trick Room, I underspeed an Azumarill and underspeed the Scrafty, but I also don't underspeed the Torkoal or the Rhyperior. So I'm going for more insurance of I know the speed tiers. Because I'm not expecting Scrafty to run any speed. Like, there's not really any reason to run the speed on the Scrafty. Could even be Min Speed. So I just want comfort in my knowledge of the speed tiers. So even if that comes back to bite me and a Scrafty throat chops me and KOs me in Trick Room, then so be it. I want the comfort of knowing the speed tiers. And if I'm out of Trick Room, my Maxmon is likely to be Airstreaming, so I'll be able to make use of the speed boost if I'm a slightly faster Marowak, because this, hits 122 speed, I think? So, like, that's pretty fast. That could outspeed a bulky Venusaur if we're not in the Sun. It should outspeed a Persimmon that's not too speed invested, so should catch the Glaceon as well, but we will see. Special defense is to be able to survive a Max Venusaur, Max Quake, not Life Orb. Life Orb required too much investment. It was like pretty much full careful max, which I didn't want to do, and wanted the Impish instead, because that means I can survive a Waterfall, was it Waterfall? Liquidation? Water move coming out from Azumarill most of the time, so that should be quite nice. And then didn't feel the need for any attack investment. It was either I put loads of attack investment, like a lot, and Adamant to be able to get Okos, or everything gets two-shot anyway, so there's no reason for any attack investment. And I chose to go for the bulky route instead. So when something survives on 1 HP, I'm going to be kicking myself and not going slightly more offensive on the Marowak. But the Thick Club doubling it to 202, like that's a lot of attack anyway. So should be fine. We will see. Tapu Fini is going to be my standard draft league set, I would say. Like, it's not the standard set, but Iron Defense is pretty good. Iron Defense will allow it to take on the physical threats a lot better. Like the Rhyperior, I'll just be able to Iron Defense in front of it, and then eventually set up my Carmines to be able to Scald and Draining Kiss. So, Draining Kiss is for the recovery. Moonblast would be better against the Scrafty, but Scald is still fine against most things, and the things it's not good against, I should just be able to outwall anyway. I'm not going to be dealing with the Venusaur at all with the Tapu Fini. I EV'd to survive a a Vine Lash if I'm at +1 special defense, but like that situation's not coming up, so it doesn't really matter in that case. But if the Venusaur goes, Tapu Fini could win. Like, really, really justifiably could win just on its own. It could 1v3 the rest of the team if the Venusaur disappears. I was considering stored power on this Tapu Fini as a way to, like, properly hit the Venusaur if I've got the boosts, but in that situation, I'm expecting to, if I have all those boosts, Venusaur should have been dealt with at that point, so then the stored power kind of becomes a moot point at that point, so... Yeah, I've got enough speed to outspeed a Charizard at +1 speed. I didn't feel like I don't care about Meowstic, and Jolteon was way too much speed investment for that. And then I've got, I think it was just a random special attack stats. It was definitely something defensively that I survive. Maybe a Life Orb max move from Azumarill. That's probably what I went for, and because I don't want, like, no special attack investment. Don't, like, when you run Tapu Fini, you should have some special attack investment. No special attack investment means you absolutely need to calm minds, whereas some means you actually do some damage. So that's definitely my preference, being able to do damage. Was considering Telepathy on the Tapu Fini, even though I don't have any moves that hit myself, purely so that I could get some Scald burns, because I am running Scald just for the accuracy. I'm not going to miss a Muddy Water to lose the matching quarterfinals, so I'm going to go for Scald, go for the 100% accuracy. Have I got any moves that... Oh, of course I have. I was going to say, have I got any moves that can miss? Air-Slash can miss. Dual Wing Beat is the move that misses, like, even in just, like, normal VGC. Dual Wing Beat does not have 90% accuracy. It is the 90% accurate move that misses the most for me, even more than Rock Slide, which is, like, stupid. But anyway, yeah. Tapu Fini could win if Venusaur disappears. I've got ways of dealing with Venusaur, like I've got the Articuno, I've got the Dragonite, I've got the Marowak, and I've got this Zapdos as well. So going back to the Assault Vest variety, so I can take those special hits a bit better. The speed investment, like I said before with the Articuno, this should outspeed a Jolteon outspeeding a Weavile, because he doesn't need to go any faster than that. So I've only gone for that speed investment. Trying to catch that Jolteon, and like I said, disrespecting Jolteon a little bit anyway, so we will see. And then the attack investment definitely did something that I've forgotten about because I made it a while ago, but it OHKO'd something. I can't remember what it was, probably the Venusaur, but we will see. And then the rest was just dumped into HP at that point. Got the two boosting max moves with the Stomping Tantrum and the Steel Wing, because Close Combat and Brave Bird is generally going to be good enough, so might as well boost my defenses. Could be boosting up the Tapu Fini if I've dealt with the Venusaur and I've still got max moves with the Zapdos. I could just get those boosts back onto Tapu Fini as well. And then Tapu Fini theoretically wins the game in that case. So, yeah. Could have been a Togepi somewhere. If Trick Room goes up, I could have just been going for After Use with the Togepi, but... yeah, I'm not going to be bringing that because I think that these six are the best. Could have brought it over the Kartana, but Kartana is actually good in this matchup, surprisingly, theoretically, but we will see. So if I get swept in Trick Room, then I should have brought Togepi, but should be theoretically okay. We will see. But yeah, that's going to be it for the Teambuilder for the quarterfinals. Slightly longer than the normal, but this is the quarterfinals after all, so this is getting super serious, as if it wasn't before. But yeah, definitely want to be winning this one, see if I can advance to the semi-finals.